to a 3-day workshop all about YouTube. I have said this before and I will say this again. I am entirely selfish because we need as a company to get much better at YouTube thumbnails and much better at all this headshot stuff. So I've called in all of my friends. You are welcome to ask all of your questions throughout these next couple of days, these 3 jam-packed YouTube thumbnail days, so that we all get better at it, right? Because that's what friends are for. That's what fam is for, right, Anna?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And the same thing here. I need to get better at it. I need to make Paul happy when he asks for those thumbnails. And that's great. Like, cause we can just, the workflow will be easier. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Duck is already saying that, did we purposely plan this for World Headshot Day? We did. Welcome to World Headshot Day.
Oh, welcome to World Headshot Day.
Welcome to World Headshot Day. Well, today we are talking about headshots. So we're going to keep as focused as we possibly can, which I know is hard for us, but we're today going to talk about headshots and photography and poses and how to make it really, really easy in your own space. So immediately, whether you're watching this right now with us live or you're catching this on the replay later, remove all of your fears and excuses and your shakiness and your feelings of imperfection. Remove all of that. We're going to guide you through. There are easy, simple ways to do it. There are more detailed, complicated ways to do it. And there's no wrong way to do it other than not doing it at all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we got you because we have a checklist for you. We have inspiration for you. We're going to show you how you can get organized so that all of those things flying in your mind about, oh my gosh, I need to do X, Y, and Z. We're going to take care of it for you. And then you're going to be able to do it.
All right. Well, a little bit of housekeeping first off right here at the top of the hour. We want to remind you that this is an absolutely free workshop. And whether you're watching right now live or you're catching us later on replay, if you register, so if you go over to ecamm.com/thumbnail-workshop, that will get you that free checklist that Anna has been talking about. And it will also make sure that you have access to all of the replays. You can quickly and easily find links and we'll send you reminders. We are not doing anything more than that. So feel free to register for that either now or later, just so that you don't miss any of those things. And it'll also allow you to easily connect with us. So Anna and I are here with you today, but we actually have a whole team of people helping across the next few days. So you definitely want to be able to reach out and ask any questions later. If you're here with us live right now, you can always throw a Q: in front of any questions. We'll do our best to answer them as we go, but we'll save some time at the end for like a full kind of question and answer time period. But yeah, throw those Qs and those colons in so that we don't miss any, because I'm sure that there'll be lots of chatter in the live chat as well. But before we jump fully in, we did not do intros, and I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, but I do want you to know that Anna is an incredible photographer. So I know you probably know her from ENN and from Building Blocks, but she knows her stuff. So we're going to pick her brain on all things photography today. How long have you been in the world of photography, Anna?
18 years.
18 years. So this is our moment, everyone. If you're like, hang on, how do I do this photography thing? This is our time to ask the experts.
Right. And also I keep learning, right? Just because it's 18 years doesn't mean that I know everything. I know quite a lot, obviously, but if you have some tips as we go along and things like that, feel free to share it in the comments, because that would be great to learn new things as well.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's dive in. So I said at the top, we were talking about photography, but we're talking about photography specific to creating YouTube thumbnails. And obviously you can use these same techniques for headshots in general, whether that's adding them into a media kit maybe later, which sneak peek, maybe we'll have some of that content coming down the road. But you can also use them for any kind of like marketing graphics or promos as well. So this is kind of an all-encompassing skill set that you're about to learn. But we are specifically going to be talking about YouTube because there are some kind of different things that you want to be doing in YouTube that are distinctive from a headshot photography. That actually kind of allows us to get a little silly.
Silly, yeah.
So it's a safe kind of starting point for us. So what are the first steps, Anna, as we were thinking through this workshop? What were your first kind of thoughts on how to approach photography and poses and getting ready so that you can create like a repeatable process and a repeatable systems that you're doing this on a regular basis.
Yeah, so there are some steps that are the same for male and female, but there are some that are specific for female as well and for male as well. So we're gonna go over that. But in terms of getting ready for your photo, right? You can do it specifically as we're talking about thumbnails, photos. You can do it after your live stream, after your production, right? So you can have one or two ways, or you can do it as a batch day photo, right? And this is where you can incorporate the what Katie just mentioned. You can add it for marketing materials, you can add it for a media kit and things like that, because you're gonna have a day dedicated to your batch photo, right? Or headshot day, whatever you want to call it. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to figure out what are we getting this photos for, right? So yes, it's going to be for your thumbnail, but what specifically? What topic are you talking about? Are you going to be talking about, for example, email? Are you going to be talking about gear? Are you going to be talking? So have that in mind first, because that is going to guide you through what poses you're going to get. Right? So if you even plan ahead of time, you have your content plan. Okay, this month, this is what I'm going to be streaming about. These are my recordings, or this are my presentations. So then based on that, you know that these are the shots that you're going to need for your headshot, right? So though that's it. Get your goals first. What is it that you need this photo for? Now that you have that, you're gonna go into your space, right? So the space, what do you wanna show, right? Exactly, what do you wanna show in your space? Do you wanna show your entire setup, depending on what the goal is, or you wanna show just specific part of your setup? And for example, for me, my camera, I have a Nikon D750. And that camera, as awesome as it is, the autofocus is not so great. So for my, if I want to show the entire setup, I have to have my aperture so small so that it can capture everything and be sharp. Right? So that's what I have to do. So I'm like, okay, now today I want to get this, I want to do a behind the scenes. So I know how I have to set up my space. I know where I have to have my lights. I know where I have to have everything behind me, what it's going to show. So we have to think about all those steps, because what you don't want is being ready and then taking your shot, one, it being blurry, or two, having extra things that you don't need, because then you're going to add more time to your workflow, having to remove things from there, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. That's how we would start. Katie?
It is a great way to start. And we talk a lot about having a plan, but we also talk about thinking through like a repeatable process. So the cool thing about YouTube specifically, and obviously us as Ecamm, is that we assume you as an Ecamm user are doing a repeatable process, right? So maybe you have a podcast that you're creating or a live stream that you're doing. So it's happening on a weekly or monthly or daily basis, right? So it is, as Anna said, really, really easy that when right before you go live or you record, or right on the other side, once you've finished recording or streaming, you can actually just keep Ecamm open or start a new recording and do something as simple as just do a couple of like easy, simple, maybe even crazy poses. And you can actually pull your headshots from there. So like at its absolute base, that is the easiest way to kind of get up and running, to have a constant set of images that you can then use in your YouTube thumbnail. So I'm going to show you really quickly, very silly, so you can all join me and have a moment of laughter on this day. So I did it literally in 30 seconds yesterday so that we could show you how simple it is. I came into my existing studio space, so my existing space where all of my lighting and my camera and everything is all set up and looks good. I sat down, I opened up Ecamm, and I recorded this video, right? So here you can see, like, it's me, ridiculous pose 1, right? Ridiculous pose 2, like ridiculous pose 3, right? So this is just a 4K video that I recorded in seconds in my existing space. Okay. So just like there's another one, there's not right. So it feels silly, but many of you already have this defined space, right? Anna has a defined space. I have a defined space. So you don't have to do a whole lot in order to get that. As Anna just said, if you want to do like a photography batching day where you're like, okay, I want to be able to grab a whole bunch of different headshots to use in different cases, then that might be a different setup because you might want to do things like stand up, move around, change outfits, have different lighting. So that would be a different thing. But at its base, this is something that we should all be doing on a regular basis, is just recording some quick videos that we can grab headshots from, because for YouTube, you want a ton of them. You want a bunch of different variety because you want things to look really consistent, but you want to be able to change out the image so that when someone is looking at your YouTube channel, looking at your YouTube podcast, they're able to say like, oh, I saw that one. I didn't see this one. Like, instantly recognizable what the video is about, what you're doing. So again, at its absolute bare minimum, try if you learn nothing else in this workshop to just record a quick video in as high a quality as your camera and your software will allow, and just freeze in those poses. This will help you get comfortable with it, and it will also give you a lot of headshots that you're constantly updating. Just bank those into a folder. Just drop them into a folder, and then you'll be able to level up with all of the stuff that Anna is going to talk about today, right? So just at its absolute basis, get a little bit silly, try some different poses, and just start banking those. So posing, I know, is really hard, Anna. I had a hard time with this yesterday when I was literally just doing a silly video. You're like, okay, like how do I kind of think through, what to do, right? Because you're like, you've turned the camera on and now you're kind of like, oh, what do I
exactly?
What do I do? This
Yeah.
this feels really weird, right? So assuming that your lighting and everything is okay in your space, because obviously you're recording video in this space, how do you think through different poses that you should do? I know obviously thinking through what your content's going to be, right? So like, is it shocking content? Is it like, are you going to be pointing to something? There's a couple of like common YouTube poses, but how do you think through or plan out what to do once the camera turns on?
Yeah. So yes, posting is a thing. And the more help we have, we do for each other, like getting ready and having inspiration, the better it's gonna be for us. So when we get in front of the camera, we're like, okay, what are we gonna do now? And then you have your inspiration already, whatever it is, YouTube, thumbnail, Pinterest, whatever it is. And so once you have that, you're just going to think about that topic and get into it. So you're acting. Right? You're going to act. We're all actors, right? So when you're taking your photo, that's what you're going to do. You're going to have your camera set, as Katie mentioned, to your highest resolution, 4K or 1080 minus 1080. And when you're taking it, right? So for example, for me, I have my teleprompter in front of me, which will be just an empty blank scene, right, in Ecamm. And then I have my inspiration to my right? So I can quickly look at it, and then I come to my screen, right? And so we start with it. So like you were doing, Katie, so you were like doing your shocking face, you hold it for 5 seconds, right? For the frame to be nice and steady, and you don't get blurriness, and then you get out of it and go into your next pose because you have everything on the screen, right? So you will be glancing and then you will be looking at it. So now this is one thing, right? So we typically have the, right? But what if, right? What is like, we figured out, we're like, okay, do we want to have the microphone in this shot?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Because do we want to have it in the shot? All right, I don't want to have it in the shot. I don't want to have it in all of them. So let me move it. So you move it. All right. What else do I not want to have in the shot? So here's what happens when you move your microphone. You have a space in front of you to play with it, right? So the table is an incredible posing tool. So you're going to move it, and you can then now, right, There you go, Katie. Yes, right. And then now you play with your hands, right? So you can, depending on what the content is, and again, this works better for women. You can just go in here and you just have your post like that. You can go and do the flow posing like this, or you can go with your, but you are resting, right? So instead of being a little bit more farther away, you're closer, you're resting, and you're.
I love these.
Right? So and then you're freezing, and then you're using your table. Now, usually in front of the camera, right? But what about if you turn a little bit, right? What about now this is different, right? Exactly. Depending on what it is, it could be if it's for your email list, pointing down, right? Or even more so, there's some of us who use recording. For example, if you want to do an introduction, if you want to do a waiting screen that has content in it, you can then show things. So for example, we'll be back at this time. So here's the timer. So you point at the timer, right? Mm-hmm. The topic. Okay, here's what we're talking about today. Right? And that's the topic. Or whatever else you want to show, then you have it that way. And then that way, as Katie was mentioning, if that is your process, you will have new headshots every single episode because you're doing it right after.
And you'll also start having like a full like database of headshots as well, right? Because there's really, I mean, if you think about it, probably only, let's say 30, number out of the top of my head, 30, let's say, common poses that you're going to start seeing over and over again as you start doing any research into specifically YouTube thumbnails, right? There's like various pointing, there's various kind of expressions that you have on your face. There's looking, down, looking away. So there's only like some combination of them, right? So you could reuse, ones if you have a database. So as you start building out this database of photos, right, you can use them for all different kinds of things. And what I found really like both obvious and yet also staggering is that people respond to expressions, right? As people are scrolling through, because remember, in many cases, they are scrolling through YouTube, right? You are stopping that scroll by expressing something. So it's not just a smile. It's like it's something bigger and more kind of eye-catching than that. So really think through like the kinds of photography specifically that catches your attention as you spend time scrolling on YouTube, as you spend time on social media. Take notes of those, and that can be your inspiration going forward, because that is, if it captivated you and catched your attention, then certainly it will do the same for someone else and for your viewers and potential viewers. So yeah, it's a great and you'll be changing outfits organically, right? So like, because you're ideally you're wearing different clothes every single time you're in front of the camera. And I think it also helps get your reps in. So please consider this your base level in photography. At an absolute base, it's going to help you get much more comfortable on camera, because again, it's just you in the room. So if you take 2 minutes of video with like 150 silly 5-second captures and you say, I hate all of these, don't use them. You've gotten the practice in, the reps in, so you can figure out which ones you like. Doc was saying in the comments, like open mouth or not open mouth, right? Like I did a bunch of them the other day, as I just showed you in the video. And some of them I was like, oh, open mouth, that doesn't look great. I use them anyway because today I'm just trying to show you some examples. But you'll get to see like what you like and don't like, where you might be able to go bigger, where you might want to go smaller. But it's a safe space, right? It's just you. No one else needs to see it.
Yeah, and playing with angles also, right? So it's like the different things that you don't typically see in YouTube. So for example, if you're turning around because you're showing something, right, you're a different angle, and also allows you to play around with your thumbnail design. If you're just not all the way straight, right? Of course, you can do it with perspective and things like that, but what if you can get it right out of camera? Right? So if you do your angles to one side, because you're going to be putting something up there, right? You kind of lean to the side without being cognizant of not cutting off your shoulders when you're going to the side, right? So that your shoulders are in frame. then you can do those pointings that you need. You can do the expressions that Katie was mentioning and things like that, right? The being different. And then there are different thumbnails. For example, I've seen the thumbnails where now like people are a little bit more standing up. And this is what we were saying, right? Like for me, if I want to stand up, I have to not really stand up. I have to like squat down to be on frame, right? So, but I do want to like, if I want to show more of my body, I do have to like make my my lens is a zoom lens. So I have to change the focal length so that it can get more of me and it can get, so playing around with all of that in your setup is just make it fun like Katie did. Katie was here, just just make it fun for you and for what your content is about.
Well, absolutely. So I want to talk. So again, that's the kind of the lowest hanging fruit, let's say, is the just be in your own space with your camera where you normally are when you record videos, and just record a like 45-second, 30-second video with a couple of poses every time that you're in front of the camera for another project to bank those photos. If you want to take it up a level, so as Anna was saying, like every one of you watching is going to have a completely different studio setup, right? So some of us have like a very different background than others. Some of us have different cameras than others. So I'm right now on an OBSBot Meet 2, which is a very small kind of affordable webcam, right? So, but Anna, as she said, is on a Nikon. So you're going to need to think a little bit about the zoom and not zoom, like how some of the camera and photography functions if you want to take it up a level from that. And as you were saying, standing or sitting. So if you wanted to, you're getting a little bit more intentional with your headshots, or you wanted to do something one level up from the from the basic, you're doing it in Ecamm, how can you prepare that without messing up your entire like studio space, because you also need to record video, or you need to be doing your regular content or your regular show? So how do you plan for that? What are the best tips?
Yeah, that is a great question, Katie, because that's the thing, and I don't have good news for you, right? I really don't. You're gonna have to mess up your setup. You're just gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
Like that's what happened to me. I needed a wider angle. I needed to move my camera back for what I wanted. I needed the lighting to be different. And so I had to, so what I did was, and it's something that also Fulgens did this morning when we were practicing, is I'm changing the settings in his camera. And he's like, what are the settings that I have now so that I can go ahead and put it back on last time, right? So it's everything, if you're have a percentage of lighting, make sure that you know that percentage after, so that you can put it back to your general settings, right? So once you do that, then you're free to just move everything at you. Like when I move my tripod, I have to put something on the floor to know where my tripod was before, right? So you have to just do all of that to make it easy for you to put everything back together. But guess what? This is going to be just one day, right? If you're going to do like the batch day and you're going to move your equipment, it's going to be one day. And this is what is important, to plan out what is it that you're doing, right? Especially for us ladies, outfits. Listen, like getting the wardrobe and all of that is a thing, right? So when we have all of that together, we have to make the most of it and then do our outfit changes, have our outfits all set, outfits that we feel confident in, outfits that complement our brand colors. And the same thing for guys, right? So you think about all of these things and then you go ahead and do that. But in terms of the settings and arranging your setup, you're just gonna have to, use it as, okay, I'm gonna clean my setup afterwards, because then you're gonna move things and you're gonna dust off.
But this is it. What you said is a really, really great reminder for everyone, and actually something that we should all be doing even outside of this discussion. So you should know where your gear needs to be for your regular video production. So little tape markers are great. Like if you're able to just put, and there are tons of different kinds of tape, obviously, that like remove easily without making any kind of damage if you're in like a rented space or a space you're concerned about. But like put those little markers, have a little, whether it's a digital or like actually printed sheet that has all of your settings for all of your different gear, right? So like on my Meet 2 camera, there are very few settings. Like I have kind of everything all like ready to go, ready to play, but this camera might not be what I want to use for photography. So like thinking that through, but understanding what those settings are, saving all of those, as you said, your lighting settings. So knowing like where things are, take photos even, and just keep that in like a little folder that's like, here's what my space looks like for video mode. And so exactly, like you don't forget anything later, because as you start taking it apart, you probably will forget, different things. You'll forget settings. Many cameras, as Doc is pointing out, right, like double check your manual. Many cameras, including a lot of the Sonys, actually have like a functionality where you can save your settings, right? Create presets. So you could have like headshot preset and video recording preset right into your camera. So these kinds of things I think are also really, really helpful, right? So just making sure that you're thinking all of that through before you dismantle things will go a really long way. I want to talk a little bit more about outfits and lighting and specifically for women, makeup. I shouldn't say specifically for women, actually. I mean, obviously anyone can wear makeup, but how do you approach that if you don't? So I'm someone that like rarely if ever thinks about outfits, rarely if ever thinks about makeup, but I don't want to look shiny. I want to like have my best face forward, and it does show up differently in a photo than it does in video, right? So how do you plan for that and approach that? Like I'm sure some outfits may not look as good like in a headshot or in your space, right? I have a very busy background, right? So like if I'm removing the background, no problem. But if I want to keep that background in, I might want to wear like a plain color, or I might want to just shift into a different part of my room.
Yeah. And so, and again, yes, finding our outfits is the hardest part, I would say, if you're going to do a batch day, because if you're doing it after you're recording, then you already have your outfit, right? You already have your outfit, you're all set. But if you are doing it in a batch day, then you have your outfit and just the color. Typically when we wear a color, we like, oh, we feel good in this, and we get complimented. We're like, oh yeah, this is my color, right? Have that color. This is going to be your save color, right? For all the time. So my save colors, and we will show you a picture in a minute. My save colors are white, pink, green, and yellow. Right?
Awesome. I love safe colors. I love that.
So I know that if anything else fails, those colors are there, right there for me. Right? Yeah. So I do want to keep it a little bit different. So I changed the top or the neckline or things like that. And then so you think about those things when it comes to wardrobe for you that is going to be different, but you're going to feel comfortable in. And it's very important to have at least 3 outfits, at least 3. And I know both male and women, we have outfits in our closet that we haven't worn for so long because we're waiting for the occasion.
Now is the time.
Right? So take it out and try it out, right? So I do this a lot. A lot of the outfits that I wear for my thumbnails, I will not wear it in public. I just wouldn't. I know myself, right? But they look awesome in camera. Like they look incredible. So I use them a lot in camera. So think about that. Think about some outfit that you have that you're like, oh, I wouldn't wear this, but man, I like it. Wear it because it's just going to be waist up. Yeah. Right. And then it's going to look good and your color is going to look good and all of that. Right. So think about that. And the next thing that I'm going to say is not related to wardrobe, but it's related to how your face is going to look. Mm-hmm. If you know that you're going to be taking a batch day, you're going to be doing a batch day, hydrate at least 2 days before your batch day. It's going to make your skin look way better. I typically don't eat salt, like I don't know, like a day, the entire day when I'm going to be on camera. Like the night before, I don't eat salt. I hydrate because it's going to make your face look nice and your skin is going to look soft. Your hair is going to look good because you're hydrated. And your nails, if you're using your hands, are going to look good too because you are hydrated. So you're not gonna look shiny either, right? So Katie's not looking shiny, I'm not looking shiny. I know that has a lot to do with where the lightings are placed, but also with how much light our skin is absorbing. And that comes with hydration, right? So there it is, wardrobe and skin.
Wardrobe and skin. Oh, all the things I just don't think about at all. Okay, I wanted
Yeah.
I want to talk since we're in this space. I also want to talk about makeup because so I grew up in the theater where you like there was theater makeup. So is there a level of like actually take it further than what you might normally wear out in public when it comes to makeup on camera so that it just shows up more or gives you a little bit more, I don't know, pizzazz?
Yeah. 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 It depends. If you have a preset in your camera that is like a vivid, enhancing your colors, just you don't have to go too crazy with it, right? So for me, I have a preset where the reds are going to be red. So I typically have my pink but lipstick toned down. I don't go all out with it because I know I have my preset. But when it comes to if you just normal, you don't have anything, then yes, the lighting is gonna wash it off a little bit. So you need to go a little extra with it so that then it can come out, right? So, right. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay.
I love
Yeah.
it. All right, I got distracted. So I'm going to scroll through to make sure that we're not missing any questions that came up. All right, but what's next? So we have now at least 3 outfits. We've hydrated a
Yes.
couple of days in advance. We've prepped our space. We've written down all of our presets so that we don't lose anything that's important. We're feeling fabulous.
Yes.
And we have some examples of what we want so that when we turn the camera on, we're like actually looking at some things because that's the moment of panic, right? You stand up there and then you're like,
Yes.
what now? I look fabulous, but what do I do? It's awkward. And without a photographer like Anna saying like, do this, do this, do this. Like, it is hard to kind of think through the different poses. So have those examples that you like visually in front of you in some way. And then what?
Yeah, and we have examples in the checklist. We
Yes.
gave you a whole example. I put a whole bunch of examples for you in there. So check it out, have it ready, right? So one thing, so in terms of, I know I mentioned that we were gonna show you a picture. So I had to do a thumbnail picture for a stream that we had was public speaking. I didn't have a picture that went with the topic. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna have to do this. So here's what I did, right? So Katie, if you solo me.
Over to you.
Solo me.
Yes, solo you.
Okay. So here's what I did, right? So these were my outfits, right? So again, I mentioned that the yellow was my thing, right? And I tried doing a little green to get out of it. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then the middle one was the one that I thought was really going to work. But guess what? When I started doing it, none of them worked. None of them. And so the other safe color that I had was white. So here's what I ended up doing. This is what worked, right? The beige and white, I felt totally awesome with it. And I'm like, okay, I can do this. And once you feel awesome, the poses are going to float easier because you're liking your outfit. So that is how important liking your outfit is, right? So then these are the 3 shots, and then Katie chose the bottom left. Like that one.
Let's see the finished
And
thumbnail.
so we
Do you have,
did it.
do you have the
And
finished
here's
thumbnail?
the finished thumbnail.
There you go, right? So again, like a clear plan. So understanding exactly what it was that you needed to do, right? So you knew what the stream was, you knew what the content was that you were creating, you knew your safe colors, which is now my favorite thing. I'm gonna have to write down my safe colors. And honestly, like there are a lot of resources too out there to like find out your colors. Like I know that people are kind of like, oh, that was a 90s thing. It's not, it's back. It's here to stay. We need to know our colors.
Yeah.
So save colors. And then, try them on. Again, there's nothing, it's just you. This is a solo project, right? So there's no photographer in the space with you. There's no judgy person in the space with you. It's just you. So feel comfortable. The more comfortable you feel, the better the photos are going to come across. So Anna was like, these outfits, actually, nope. This other different outfit is what makes me feel my best.
Yeah, they were not coming through, and that's you're going when you have your recording in Ecamm, then and it saves it. You name it. You go back and you're starting to scroll through it, right? You will see once you find the one that you like, then you stop there, right? And then you take your screenshot, and that's it,
That's
right?
it.
And then you continue building your library as Katie's put in it. So another thing is a lot of us have a second camera, right? Like that we use for behind the scenes or we use for a different angle. So let's use that camera, right? Let's have a side angle. Let's have a different angle depending on what your topic is.
Yeah.
So Katie has a side camera, right? So Katie, if you want to show us your side
Yeah,
camera to
allow me to
see
show you
how
my
different,
side
yeah.
camera. Woo!
Look at it.
Look at that side shot.
Right, but you see how different that looks. So now, Katie, if you rest your elbow on your desk,
All right.
right? So
Like just down like this, or
right, like you see the other one is the desk over into your other side, the other
like
the other
this?
left. Yes,
See, I got
right.
the side.
So that's it. There we go. So there we go. And then you're going to look at the camera that you are, there you go, right? So you just straight up a little bit as much as you can, like sit up straight, but still with your, yeah. And then bring the other hand up towards you, towards the other one. Yeah, that's then, exactly. And then you play around with it. So if you move, just move a little bit, like angle, like move to the right. Yes. And then continue to play around with your angle. You find one that you like, you relax your shoulders. That is a different angle that when you take the background out, out of it, remove the background, it's going to look completely different, right? So you play around with look at and see, like it just looks different. I love side views.
Mary Lou was enjoying my live posing session, right? It feels awkward. It feels awkward. We can all agree that it feels awkward. And
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
okay. Because again, it's a safe space. If I can do it live in front of all of you and Anna, then you can do it in a safe space. If it actually is helpful to have someone else giving you tips like what Anna was just doing there, phone a friend. Have a friend come into Ecamm like you're doing here like this to just give you some feedback. Invite a partner or a friend in like physically into your space to say like, oh, okay, actually this or that, or send some examples of what you've taken to a friend or a contact or a colleague to have them say like, oh, actually like, this is pretty good, but you could have just done it one more, a little bit more further, a little bit more of an angle or whatever. You will,
Yeah.
the practice is going to be what really makes a difference for you.
Yeah.
We got some
Yeah.
great questions coming in. So I'm just going to swing through and answer a few of these. Forgive me, I'm going back in time a little bit. So some of this we answered. Ernesto is hanging out with us. Really appreciate you being here, Ernesto. We actually, for the purpose of this particular workshop, we're going to be talking specifically about Adobe Express, but they are very similar. So if you're using Canva or honestly like any of the image editing and video editing softwares, you should be fine. Because again, these are best practices that are going to, especially today, are going to carry across. Like you can use today's content for anything, even really outside YouTube videos. These are just skills to help you get thinking about photography differently as it pertains to video, marketing, YouTube, etc. But the later sessions we are going to be doing are specifically about Adobe Express, but again, applicable to any software. Taisha asks about getting that checklist. So don't panic. We will send the checklist out to everyone that is registered. If you check your spam folder, you might find it in there. And if you didn't get it by the end of today, definitely feel free to email us marketing@ecamm.com. We're happy to make sure that you get that. But again, yeah, it's a really helpful resource. You don't need it right now while you're playing along, but certainly having it kind of even like honestly printed out and like visible somewhere in your studio goes a really long way, just so that you can quickly glance at it. Or if you're the kind of person that has like multiple displays or an iPad at the side that you can reference it, that's a good way. All right, so one sec, Doc is going through the question. My hang up is my lens is 17 millimeter, 24 millimeter effective. I feel the wide makes my face look weird. Should I use my 50 millimeter or my 85 millimeter? Speaking of messing up my setup, yeah. This is a great question. Anna, what do you think?
Yeah. So, Doc, it depends on your space for the 85 or the 50, whichever one you want to use, that your space is not too tight because yes, the 16 will distort it a little bit, but also, and we're gonna, when we go up to Fulgence's studio, he has a 16. So we're gonna play around with it as well so you can see how you can utilize that. But if you use the 80 and it's too tight, then you don't have enough space on the side to play around, or it might make our face look bigger than it is because it's so close, right? So it all depends. But I will say the 50 is a good middle ground between the 16 and the 85.
Go 50. Play with it.
Go 50, go 50.
You have our permission to mess up your studio, but and you're Doc, so you'll know everything. But make sure that you can put it back.
And for Doc, it will be like you say, it will be easy. And also, like if you have to switch lens, and that's the only thing you're doing, that's messing up nothing because you're just switching the lens, and that's it. You're not changing any settings. Right? Because your settings are going to stay the same.
Exactly. Janice has a really great question. Are we using the capture feature in Ecamm? Is that possible with the Stream Deck? So we should say, if you are an Ecamm user, which many of you are, Ecamm has the ability to do a couple of different things in the world of photography, right? So the first is that you can do what I did earlier in this video we showed you, where I just recorded a video. So I used Ecamm's recording feature, right? And I just did I froze for 5 seconds, right? So it's like, and then recorded a video that way. So I didn't do any kind of screen capture or anything. I just recorded the video, and then I went back through the video and I just did screenshots. So I just outside of Ecamm, I did screenshots. Ecamm actually also has a fun, I think it was actually Mary Lou who is here with us today who asked for this feature, but Ecamm has a screen capture feature. So you could certainly use that as well. I think for this particular instance, it was easier from my mind to just record a video because I was already kind of trying to focus on maintaining eye contact, thinking through what poses I wanted to do. So for me, I think it was just easier for me to record a video, but certainly you could do it as using that screen capture feature. And I never remember where it is. Let me just quickly try to scroll through to find it.
So there's a shortcut. I think it's Shift Command G.
Yes, Doc dropped that in.
When you do, okay. Yeah. And then when you do that, then you have the photo, you will get the red notification, and then you click on it, it will take you to your photo.
Go. There you go.
Took.
You can tell Anna actually uses it way more than me.
But as Kenny mentioned, recording the video is way easier because you're going to stay in the flow of things, right? Yeah. You're going to continue to just go and do your posing, especially if you're doing hands and, doing hands like this, or if you're going to be holding a pen, for example, and putting the pen down, you can do all of that. If you're holding a sticky notes, which I do a lot, if you're holding a notebook because you have a course coming up and you're going to be talking about, and you're like, okay, I want my thumbnail to have a notebook, and then I want to add text to it or something like that, then you know that you have that, and then you put it down, and then you pick something else up. So you go through that flow, and remember, you have to hold it for 5 seconds so that you can get a clear shot, and then you put it down and you continue that way. Then you go through your recording, and you do the screenshots, and then the screenshots are going to go on your desktop, and your desktop is going to be a mess. So you have to make sure to get all of the screenshots, put it in the folder, and label them so then you know what you're going to use it for and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of people asking about sort of the practical questions. So Roberto's asking the same thing. So yes, you can absolutely. So Doc always says, I'm going to steal this from him, a Stream Deck is literally just a programmable keyboard. So you can absolutely, since there is a hotkey already in existence for this feature in Ecamm, absolutely. You could also use a Stream Deck or a Stream Deck pedal to trigger your recording on and off. So if you're doing just the recording, as we've been talking about here in Ecamm, you can certainly use Stream Deck to be able to just stay focused, start the recording, end the recording. The other setting and feature in Ecamm that is important to make sure that you have turned on is under the Ecamm Live preferences. There is an option to make sure that there is a 3-second countdown before your recording starts. This is really helpful. It doesn't super matter because you're just you can record for as long as you want, and you're only pulling out screenshots. You're not using the audio. You're not using like anything else from the video. But having kind of that like 3, 2, 1, go, I think is good for your mindset and triggers you to be like, okay, now I'm on and I'm grabbing my headshots. So turn that on. It's a good option.
That countdown is gonna get your nerves a little bit, right? So you're like, okay, you're already there. So the countdown is there. You're like, okay, I'm with it. All right. Get everything out.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, again, like it's just for you. You can throw it away if you don't like it. So this is the safest space to practice. It's going to help you get more comfortable on camera in general. There's no downside to doing this. And if you are in this video world, it's incredibly helpful for you. Like it does nothing but benefit you. So please, again, at a bare minimum, we're going to challenge you to do this immediately following this, whether this is later today or by the end of the week. Record a quick video in Ecamm, do at least 3 poses, and then you'll just be done. That'll be the worst one you will ever do because you're just starting, and that's it. And then nothing but easier from there on out.
Exactly. And if anything, it's going to help you find your angle. Right? It's going to help you find what angle you look good on. It might be something, some people look good right from the front. Other people have a left or right angle. And by playing around, because you're recording, right? And you're just looking at yourself, you can see what angle and how things look good for you. So you can cross your legs. This will be like a nice sunny lens that is long and right? And you can turn around and you can, do things like this. You can move your elbow, and then you try it on the other side too, right? So you're going to do left and right. So you're switching, you're doing your things. If you have a props are great. You can hold your microphone, you can move away, right? So things like that are you will see it once you scroll through, and then you'll be like, ooh, I'm going to do that again because that was good, but I didn't stay there for long enough to capture that, right? So yeah, I think recording is the way to go, especially if you're going in 4K,
Yeah, absolutely. And as Doc is saying, 3 to 5 seconds probably is going to feel like an eternity. So just hold it for longer than you think, even though you feel awkward about it. And then there's probably 3 or 4 of you out there that are like, I don't feel awkward at all. I'm amazing, which is great. We love the confidence, but I think most of us, it'll feel a little bit weird, and that's okay. Just push through, hold for longer than you think. And again, you're totally in control of the entire process. It's cool because it is visual, right? So it's kind of similar to taking a selfie, but you have a lot more control. Like you can move yourself further back. You can stand, you can sit, and you can make those adjustments because again, you're trying to get to the end result. Unlike video production or live streaming, the actual process doesn't matter as much. No one's watching the process. No one's watching the finished video. So you can kind of just like move back and forth. Marshall saying team awkward over here.
And then also with it's still in beta, but if you want to use if you have a PTZ camera, you can zoom in and out with Ecamm. So that's going to make the workflow even better, where if you capture it the way you want to see it, the final product, then you already are kind of live editing right there, right? Because you're like, okay, I want it this way, and then I'm just going to zoom it in, and then I'm going to zoom it out. And if I turn this way, I'd rather see a little bit more zoomed in, or I want it more, I want it wider. Then you can play around with it, and that is in the Ecamm Live beta right now. That you can try it out.
Absolutely. And again, the end goal is to have ideally, a large bank of photos, because what we're trying to get to here is this very simplified, easy process where you open up your Adobe Express or your Canva or whatever your tool is to make a YouTube thumbnail, and you say, this photo, this background, this word, right? Like in Anna's example, right? Like these couple of things so that it stays on brand, it stays very you, but you're able to switch it up so that when someone sees it, they say, oh, that's eye-catching, I want to watch that video. But when your people sees it and says like, oh, that's an Anna video. Oh, that's a Katie video. That's a doc video,
Yeah,
etc.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
they know it's you. They know what the video is going to be about. But if it's a show like a podcast, they understand that it's an episode of your show, but they know immediately by seeing it, like, oh, I've seen that one. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm moving my way through, right? So we don't want what we are doing right now for the flow, for example, where it's just the same smiling photo of Doc and I every single week and we're just changing the words. That is not helpful for YouTube. So we are not doing it correctly, which is why we are doing a workshop to learn together
Yeah.
how to do it better.
Yeah, like the shot that you posted with you and Doc, right? Where you were doing your one expression and Doc was doing another.
Yeah.
Like doing something like this where you guys are in like you know how Ken and Glenn used to do green screen and it looked like it was all in one room, right? Doing something like that will make it dynamic between the two of you without having on the side, like you on one side and Doc on the other. So yeah, that would be fun. Having fun doing, I mean, that's what like Katie keeps saying. It's a safe space. You're in your house. Nobody's gonna look at this video, right? But you, that's it. And then just make sure that you take the toggle off the stream and just leave record when you're doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make sure. And then you just go through it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And then you can continue doing it. But one thing for sure is that you're going to get better at it. You're going to know your angles. And you're for sure going to get ideas. Because once we do something, we start getting ideas for other things. Right? And that's only going to come with action and you doing the things. So yeah, this is going to be great. We want to see all your thumbnails looking awesome. Or clickable thumbnails. That's what
we want see, you want it to be eye-catching enough that it stops someone, and you want it to be even more eye-catching so that they click, because in the end we just want people to be watching and enjoying our content and engaged, right? So you already have the amazing video, so you just need something to be able to catch their attention enough that they want to watch the video. So deliver on the promise that you have in your photo and in your thumbnail, and you will be in a really great space. There's some more questions coming through. So Roberto asks, is it better to take the photo using your iPhone outside in the sun as opposed to sitting at your desk with Ecamm? This is a great It's a great question.
Yeah, Roberto, so that is a great question, and that depends on what your content is, right? So let's say, for example, that you're just taking this shot because you want to have it as, for example, you're a speaker, and you don't need to show equipment. You don't need to show your desk. You need to show you, right? So yeah, at that point, if your setup doesn't allow it for you to have that wide shot, yeah, set it up with your phone. Actually, the photo that is on the thumbnail of this workshop was taken on my iPhone because I needed it to be long, and I didn't want to mess up my setup, right? So I did it in an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and then I set it up in front of my window, and I took that and removed the background. So you can do it outdoors, or you can go in front of a window, which will give you that light, unless you want to do it in the evening where you want to get that sun golden kiss light. So you can definitely do it with your iPhone. Yes.
I love that. Yeah. And again, like what matters most is just getting into the habit of thinking through the kinds of photos that you need for the different things that you need them for, right? So this workshop, we're talking specifically about YouTube, but likely you'll want to have photos for all kinds of different things, right? When you're a guest on a podcast or another show, when you get the opportunity to speak on stage, when you are submitting an article for something, right? Everyone wants a professional photo of you, and because you're already a content creator, you have access to a lot of these incredible tools, right? So whether that's your phone, or it's the cameras that you're using for recording, or it's your studio space, or maybe it makes sense for you to plan a day and get a bunch of photos in different locations. It obviously in many cases still makes sense to hire a photographer like Anna and spend
for sure.
a day getting professional photos, right? But if you don't think about it, then you're never going to be able to hit the goal of getting people into your sphere of influence, right? Watching your content, engaging with you, booking calls with you, experiencing time with you in a coaching atmosphere, whatever it is that you're that you're working on. So again, at a bare minimum, just start thinking about this stuff and making time and space to do it, and getting in the habit of doing it regularly, I think is really important.
Yeah, and another thing that works well also is, for example, we have those days where like everything is going right? Everything's like going right. And our outfit looks great, and we didn't even know the outfit was gonna look so good, and the hair is looking awesome, and oh my gosh, like everything is just working out. Turn on that camera and take some shots, because they're gonna come out amazing. Like, just turn it on and do it, because your setup is already ready, right? So you just have to turn it on, sit down, and even like at that point, you don't even need a goal, because the goal is already done. You're looking awesome. Like, your outfit is done, your skin is done, your hair is like everything, right? So you just have to sit down in your studio and do your poses, because guaranteed when you're feeling awesome, all the shots will look great.
Yeah.
All the shots will look great. So yeah, so if you like came out from a presentation, or you were speaking at a conference, and then you just came back home, take that shot. If it went well for you and you're feeling awesome, right? Take that shot. Capitalize on the energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to know exactly what to capture in that shot, because you have been practiced. So you'll get there. Natalie is asking about, so Anna, a few minutes ago was talking about the pan, tilt, zoom cameras, the PTZ cameras. So that functionality is specific to those cameras. So you would need to have, many of the OBSBot cameras are PTZ cameras. There's a company called PTZ Optics that makes them. There's a number of different PTZ cameras, but those ones, it's the camera itself that allows to like kind of track you and follow you, or zoom in and out. And Ecamm in the newest beta version has the option to actually be able to control that functionality within Ecamm. So that's not necessarily an Ecamm specific feature. So you can't do it with every camera. You wouldn't be able to do it with your phone camera, for example, but you could certainly do it if you had one of those PTZ cameras. And the OBSBot ones are preposterously affordable. they're like very, very cheap for the fact that they are 4K cameras. So if you're looking to add that into your studio space for video production or podcasting or recording courses, and also it benefits you for photography, then absolutely go for that. It's a great way to be able to just get a little bit of additional control. But I just wanted to be clear, that does not work if you have like mine is not. So I have no functionality to be able to do that with this particular camera.
So to that by accident, Fulgence discovered, right? So it's pan, tilt, and zoom, right? So if you have a camera that just zooms, like if you just have zoom, that's the only thing that's gonna take. So Fulgence has the face cam, Elgato face cam, I believe it is that he has. Yeah. And he can zoom in.
Oh, good.
Right?
That's good
you cannot tilt or pan, because that capability is not in the camera, but you can zoom in and out. So you can have that capability of doing that. And maybe when we go do the male posing up in his studio, we can show you that.
Yeah, let's go.
So you can use that.
Let's move to that. We're gonna let Anna run upstairs so we can show you a different studio and a couple of different pro tips. So while I do that, I'm gonna swing just over to me hanging out, and I'll continue to take some more questions. All right, and we'll pull in Fulgence's camera as well. All right. Oh, we have Fulgence already. We're ready to go. All right, let's swing over. I'm going to change this camera over to Fulgence. I love it. He's fully in pose mode. 5 seconds feels like an eternity, right?
It sure does. I've been practicing up here.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Well, I'm scrolling through to make sure I'm not missing any other questions while Anna gets mic'd up. Lots of people excited about beta and about being able to do pan, tilt, and zoom. Yeah, it is funny. Like these days, what's really cool too is that many of us have multiple cameras we just don't even realize we can use in these ways, right? So like obviously your phone, you can connect your phone into Ecamm. You can just use your phone as a camera in a variety of different locations. You could also record a video on your phone and do if you get comfortable in that kind of structure, do your 5-second poses with just your phone set up. If you want to be, if you want to have some of the taller format or how you switch it up in different ways, you can go into Ecamm's vertical tall format, you can do it that way. So there's lots of different options once you get into the habit of doing it. I love that you.
So let's show. Yeah, let's show.
Wait.
I sound so echoey.
There you go.
Hello?
There you go. You're good.
Echo? Okay.
Oh wait, I got to switch over.
Oh,
This is a Katie.
yeah,
This
that's
is
my
a Katie
cool
fail.
studio.
This is a Katie fail. Hang in for the Katie fail. I got to move everything around. One sec. There we go.
Okay. So we were talking about the Zoom. So how about you show them? I mean, it's down, so you can show real quick how you do. And this could be a thing where sometimes the thumbnails don't need to have our faces in it, right? So it could just be your equipment or your just your equipment. So we're gonna show a shot of how you can use a Zoom pan and maybe we can be on live demo maybe so they can see it.
All right.
I'm using it for my top-down shot here. And this is the beta. We're in the beta. So it has the little PTZ remote for the face cam. This is the Elgato face cam. And this is what Anna was referring to, that we can actually zoom in and zoom out
That's so easy.
on the face cam. Look at that. I have plenty. Wow.
Yeah.
It was zoomed in.
So say, for example, because we're just showing it that way because Fulgen's, the face cam is tilted down, but say that you had that camera or you had a webcam, like it just whatever, right? You can do the zoom with it and get it closer to your face, get a closer shot if you need to have a closer shot. So
And
here's
that would have been a
Fulgen's.
good shot too, to like even just show like, so if you were doing an entire video on like the Rodecaster Pro, right? That overhead shot would have been a great shot. So again, like whether you're doing like, I'm thinking about, Amazon shoppable videos, or like you're doing a product demo, or, or live shopping or whatever else. And you just want to show a product. Like, again, the product needs a headshot. So you need to think that through, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like the shots don't necessarily have to be of your face. It could be the product that you're showing. Yeah. So, okay, male posing. All right. So we are, how am I sounding? I sound
You sound
like
good.
I'm sounding.
No,
Oh,
you
okay.
sound good.
So for males, okay. So typically for male, they, and then for the males, you can share your preference, but I typically ask this question, like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to have a lighter, more light in your face? Or do you prefer a little bit more contrasty so that it shows your face shape, and then also it shows your shoulder a little bit more because there's a little bit of contrast. So I typically ask that question when I'm photographing males, and the majority of the answers are that they like it in the darker side. So for you, what's your preference?
I'm open to everything. Right now, I'm well lit, but I'm open to like the dramatic lighting as well.
Dramatic lighting. So here's where, so for males, so let's talk about what is your goal? What kind of shot do you want to have for your thumbnail?
Yeah, this is more for updating the building blocks thumbnails, right?
Okay.
So that's why I'm wearing a neutral black shirt, and I'm not worried about this because this can be edited in post, right? I could throw an Ecamm logo in here, and more so like facial reactions, like how you ladies were talking about earlier. So like, if it's something related to a new feature, or, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just created that in Ecamm, I can be doing those type of reaction type of looks. And then aside from that, I have a blazer hung up behind me, and then I would like to do something further away with the legs crossed, and just posing with a blazer on.
Like we were
for
practicing
ENF.
earlier. Okay.
Yes.
So, all right. So the first thing we need to do is so I'm going to show this. You need to straighten, you can be the way you were before, so angled, right? But then we're going to open up your chest, right? But then we're going to like that. And then you come into the camera. And then you're right here. Yeah. And then now you're going to relax, right? There we go. Right? So then that's like a basic shot. From there, do your expressions. So where do you have your inspiration? Where's your inspiration?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the checklist that you will be receiving. here.
Okay. So now I want you to do that. Go ahead and choose your.
Oh, yeah. So the first one was the shocked one. So I'm looking this way and I'm like shocked. So wait,
Hold
think
it,
it was
yeah.
better this way. Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
was
you
this
see
way.
what it is? So you gotta
Yeah.
find your angle, right? Okay. Nice. And then you can move around too, right? So you do like different things. So try the other angle and do the next thing. So instead of going that, yeah. There you go.
These are great.
Right? So that is what you do. So now, right? So have that. So now let's play around. So you have your lighting here. You put it back the way you had it
Yeah.
before.
So key lights and a hair light.
Yeah. So say you don't have a hair light, right? So let's turn the hair light off, please. Okay. So now you see a little bit, because now we got to think about, these are, you can use it with your background, but then since it's going to be in a thumbnail, you're going to remove the background. So you really don't need the background lit, but you do if you want to have some more emphasis in the back of you, and Fulgence wants to show how big his head is a lot of the times. So he has his the backlight on. But then if you don't have a backlight, don't worry about it, because it's going to be, that's just a preference thing, right? So again, now we're going to try doing one for ENN, right? Which is something that's going to be a little bit more professional. And this is when Fulgence had already taken out his jacket that he's going to use. So I'm going to get it for you.
It was helpful to see the difference in the lighting too. It's good to remember too, in this case, especially if you're using like an Adobe Express or a Canva, you can pop out that background without worrying about like a green screen behind you or whatever else. So there's a lot of options. So like, don't think too much about that part. Think about
exactly.
Background is what I mean. Definitely think about your lighting, but don't think too much about the background, because you will have some flexibility. So looking smooth, Fulgence.
All right. So now you have this desk to play around with, right? So you can and you have a swivel. So he has a swivel. What is it? A stool.
Yeah,
a stool.
Yeah.
So now what I want you to do is just play around with your put in your hand right there, your elbow there, and just swivel and find the angle that you like, because this is something that you all are going to do, right? So you're going, once you're recording, which is what I was mentioning earlier, but here in Fulgence's setup, since his lens is wider, you can see a little bit more where I couldn't show you that downstairs. So you're going to see him a little bit more when and how it changes when he moves around. So Fulgence, I'm gonna let you go left, right, and middle, and switch your arm positioning, okay? And remember to hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds.
So this is left. Wait, my right elbow.
And play around with the other hand too. See how it looks like if you bring it up to there we go. Yep. Yeah, and you can also rest it on the desk where the other one is. Yep. There we go. You see, so it gives it a little bit of dimension, and like the plane is not on the same, and it gives you a shape to your body.
So let's do this way.
And then you can kind of angle more that way. And relax your shoulder. Yeah. And just continue to play around with it to see which angle you like best, and play with your hands. See, like if you want to put your elbow on the desk.
Actually, let's try something.
Okay.
So I was thinking I can like use the stool now.
Oh, to do what we were doing before?
And like maybe try to lean in or something like that. Or
Yes,
we can be
farther away. Yeah, it has to be farther away.
Okay.
But you didn't even finish the other one. Okay, wait. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And keep in mind for
all right.
this, like Fulgence wouldn't be wearing, like, he needs to hear us because we're doing a stream, so that's why he's got his cord.
Right.
But in that case, like you wouldn't need to have your microphone in front of you. You wouldn't need to have your any earpieces in, etc. Because you're recording a video that you don't you don't care about anything but the picture. So
Exactly. Exactly. So for here, Fulgence, what you're going to do is you're going to cross your, yep. And then both of your, you're going to put your hands on your, like ankle. So like move both of them down there, like, yeah. And see, you're going to start.
I gotta fix my, my neckline there.
And then that's it. And then you're looking, and then now because you have that swivel, you can go ahead and see which angle looks better for you. Right? I'm gonna see if you can open up your shoulders a little bit. Okay. And then swivel. Swivel. Okay, so you see, I like that angle better. You see how is the difference? Like to play around with your angles and see. The same thing with the legs. So switch your legs and see what happens when you do that. And again, your angle, like
there.
Yep, like that. See, and then that's straight on, but then now see what happens when you angle. Yeah, continue. Continue the angle. Find the angle. There you go. And then you can even like lean a little bit more towards your. That's it. That's awesome. That is great. So, right, so you like that, and then you can do the same thing standing up if you wanted to stand up, if your camera allows you to do that, but exactly. So this is when the iPhone will be good, or redoing your whole setup. So this is what, so Fulgence is, because he's moved back, his head is right here, which is not going to be a big deal once you remove the background, right? And you can also, go down, look smaller. And then also, right, like it will look different. And this will be more so for like if you were going to use the shot and you were going to have some negative space. So if you moved over this way, since this is your angle.
This way?
Yeah. And then just leave a little bit of negative space. And this will work great for like a thumbnail, for like a speaker or something else, or even just already you position it that way because you know you're going to use the thumbnail, you're going to design it this way. So go ahead and do,
Oh yeah.
And then if you, right? Yeah. So you already have that space, so you're going to do all your things. And then, and then like you can, and you can build your legs, you can bend them, because when guys bend their legs, what happens is that their body shape shifts. And so having a nice shift in the body, like angle in it, it looks good. Yeah. So yeah, that's male boxing for you.
I'm set.
I love it. It's
and people wanted him to wear the hat, but I don't see the hat.
Oh no.
Well, I can get it. You don't want to mess up your hair?
I have to think which one. I'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So so people want him to, because you know that you have a fan club for like dress up and stuff.
I forgot all about that.
You guys sure I look here. But yeah, so I'm playing, and this goes for both male and female. But here, because you have there's a space, you'll be able to have, like, you see how Fulgence was doing the setup for ladies? We do things like this, right? And we can use it for different purposes, right? We turn around and do things like this also, or we do it the other way. So we play around to see what pose works better for what we're looking for. And then depending on the outfit, it's also going to look different.
I think the biggest learning even just from this session for me has been thinking about the angles. Like, I just didn't think about the angles. Like, I was always just like taking them straight on.
Angles are the thing.
My Ecamm fedora.
Perfect.
The Portuguese dude. Okay.
There you go.
So again, so this is what it is. So this, what will you use it for? Will you use it for ENN, or will you use it for something else? It all depends on what you're gonna be doing. Could be a shoppable video for your hat. Yeah. But anyway, just having fun with it, because again, if you don't like it, at least you have fun, right?
All right, so are there any specific lighting that we should be thinking about for the hat? So it's just that you need to have the hair light, right? The hat light.
So you can have the hair light, but at the same time, you don't have to. So you can turn it off, please. If somebody didn't have a hair light, right? You're going to be okay, because you're going to put it on a thumbnail, and the thumbnail behind the hat, like a layer, you can have like a little bit of light or something separation that you can create if you don't have the light there, right? So if you wanted to make it mysterious, this is where this will go. So I'm gonna unplug. So play around with your lighting percentages. You said you already have what it was set at?
Yeah.
Okay, so play with your lighting. And this is what I was talking about. If you want to get fancy with lighting, if you like the lighting to be darker and be a little bit mysterious, since he has a hat now.
Oh yeah, it's amazing what lighting does.
Yes, yep. And then now in here, now here, you're mysterious. So now go on that pose that you did that was really good, which was, I believe, was this angle.
The leg over?
Yeah, and I believe it was this way. It was, yeah. So I think it was, yeah. I think find your angle again. I forgot what your angle was.
Well,
Work it.
cables.
But also don't trip over your wire and injure yourself.
Exactly.
Exactly. Don't trip. Don't trip. There we go.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's nice. And you can even, and you can even angle more, a little bit more, just to see whichever. Okay, and then from your waist, you're gonna just lean a little bit towards that, and then relax the shoulder, relax your shoulder. Yeah, that's it. Relax. There we go. Yeah, and you can play around with it, and you can do all the things.
Everyone grab the screenshots. You can make Fulgen's thumbnails.
I'm going to see a lot of screenshots in the...
You have it. You all set with it. You all set with it. And then if you wanted to say you didn't have a stool, a swivel stool, if you didn't have a chair, which I'm pretty sure all of us will have something that is adjustable, because as you saw, Fulgen's was higher, and then he brought the stool down, and that will make a difference on your shot. So if you move forward again on your desk, you can have a different angle as well with the hat. Now, since you already did that over there, now you can have another angle where you will be able to use the hat, but in a different angle, so people won't think that it's the same shot. So.
Absolutely. Great pro tip from Steven says, if the shoulder line is not as clean as you want, sit on your jacket tails.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There we go.
Yes. Yeah, so that is for men. Again, like you saw, if you're gonna do your thing, if you're doing it right after your stream, you're already dressed up, right? So you're just gonna do your thing. But if you're going to do a batch day, you do the same thing. So you have your t-shirt, you have your jacket, you can have 2 jackets, bracelets, little things.
Props.
What is this pocket thing? Yeah. And then you can have having your legs crossed, like put your ankle on top of your knee like that, and then that creates a very nice shape for guys that you can do. You can do this, and then you can rest your elbow, you see, and then like that, you already have that awesome angle, and you're closer to your desk. So guys, play around with it.
I love it. I never would have thought that there was a difference between like men and women in when it came to photography. So this has been really helpful. Like just thinking through, angles and poses. Very, very helpful.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else we haven't covered, Anna and Fulgens?
I think this is it. It's just think about what you're doing so that then you know what type of shots you're going to get. And that's it.
All right, I'm going to... Oh, shoot. I took over. I didn't mean to take over. Hang on. I was trying to add myself. Let's see if I can just go back to... All right. I'm going to go back to my... Yeah, their main shot. Of course, then then it's just me and Fulgens without off screen. But
I'm gonna go back down. Yeah, I'm gonna go back down so we can finish it. Okay.
All right.
Good job.
Well, awesome. If anyone... Thank you so much, Fulgens, for being such a great sport.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to swing back over to just me. All right. And if anyone has any questions that you have, this is a great time to drop them into the chat. I think we've answered most of them as we've gone. But again, reminder that like This is a 3-day free workshop. So today we're talking headshots, but tomorrow we're going to be talking YouTube specifically and designing for YouTube. So we have Marshall and Doc hanging out, talking all about those details. And then on day 3, we're going to put it all together, specifically in Adobe Express. But I promise it will be really relatable if you're using a different software, if you have a different process. But the idea is really to bring it all together. I see Anna is back. So let me go back over here. Wait, I'm switching over from Fulgens to Anna. Production mode today. Too funny. Yeah. So yeah, you can do, you can create a process that works for you, but the steps are the same, right? Get in the habit of creating a regular flow of headshots and of photography, and then bank those into a folder that's labeled correctly. And so you're able to find all the different options that you have. And then we're going to show you how to actually take those elements together and build them into specifically a YouTube thumbnail. But a lot of it will be best practices that you can use for different kinds of marketing graphics that you're creating. Nothing but praise, Anna. You killed it. This was so fantastic. Great job. Super helpful. No questions. We did it.
Yeah. Now we're gonna see it would be great to see now how those screenshots or headshots will come up and can be used in thumbnails,
Yes. So please.
So they can see, yeah.
This is not. Sometimes we do Ecamm challenges, but this is not an Ecamm challenge. But we do challenge you if you spend time in our community spaces over on Discord or either on Facebook. Feel free to share your finished result headshots or your silly videos. If you're starting to get more comfortable with creating silly videos, let us know that it's from the headshot workshop and that you learned from Anna so that we don't miss anything. But yeah, just get into the practice of doing it. It's not as big and intimidating as it seems. It just forces you to get into the habit of doing it. I promise you will need and use these photos for way more than you even think. Like there's always someone that's like, can you send over a photo of you? There's nothing worse than going back to Facebook and trying to find some good photo from a wedding or from some have a bank of photos that you can pull from for these professional moments. Yeah, and kudos to the dashing model. Yes, thank you, Fulgens.
Yeah, because people do expect you to have a nice headshot. They do when they ask you, and then they know what you do. They expect you to have a nice headshot. And then you can do that. I mean, once you can do the expression ones that Katie mentioned that grabs attention on YouTube. However, you're already doing it, so just take a headshot just you by yourself, so that you can use for multiple. You can use it for multiple things.
Absolutely. Well, we did it, and we ended earlier than we thought, which is always exciting because it just means we got to the point, which is great. One more time before people forget, this is part of a 3-day workshop. This is day 1. Replay will be immediately available the moment we're off. You can register for free for this workshop, ecamm.com/thumbnail-workshop. That will get you access to an incredible checklist that Anna put together. So it's completely free. You just need to register so that we make sure we can get it over to you. And then you can also have the ability to email us back or ask any additional questions. But I really appreciate your time, Anna. I always learn so much when I get to hang out with you. Selfishly, it's also just a lot of fun.
Thank you. You were great. Thank you for keeping me company and asking all your great questions as you usually do.
Oh, I love it. Well, in case anyone wants to learn more about your photography, can you let them know where they can find out more?
Yes. So my website is Anna Gill. So in English will be AnnaGillStudios.com. And then I am on Instagram as Anna Gill Photography.
Mm-hmm.
And then on LinkedIn, you will find me a lot. Yes, ANAGIL. Thank you. And then on LinkedIn, you'll find me as well, Anna Gill, and it's all lowercase. So it would be easy for you to find me. Absolutely. And I'm wearing yellow, one of my safe colors.
Safe colors. If you want to tell us what your safe colors are in the community or Discord spaces, definitely go ahead and do that. I'll be researching my safe colors for the next couple of hours.
What? That's awesome, right? Because they should know it now. Katie, let's end it with that, and let's see. Let's ask the fam what is their safe color so they can add it
Yes.
to the comments and see
Oh,
for male
yeah.
and women.
Yeah, let us know your safe colors in the comments. I think mine is purple. I know Doc will be sad that I stole one of his colors. I feel pretty good in purple. I feel really good in green. I don't really look as good in any kind of pastel colors, so I tend to avoid those myself. And so Anna, you said yours were black, white, pink, and yellow.
So yeah, so green, hunter green.
Oh, hunter green. All right.
Yeah,
Specific.
hunter green. Yeah.
Doc is purple. John is pink. I love it. I love
Alright.
it.
Yes, one of mine is pink too.
So what shade
Yeah, and then
pink for you, Anna?
so shade pink will be darker shade. That's it. That's it. Because the lighter, like you just mentioned, the pastel colors, you would think that they will look good on, with my skin tone, but they really don't. And I like pastel pink, but it doesn't work for me. So what I do is I wear accessories that are pastel pink.
Yeah. Black.
Black, okay. Black is always
Blue.
safe. Yeah.
Fulgen's coming in with
Blue.
blue, black, gray. Paul, blue and purple.
Okay.
Purple when I want to be fancy. Purple, the royal purple for fanciness.
You see, you guys, you already have your colors. So,
Yeah,
so
you all have
can
your
write them
colors.
down, right?
Black and red. I love it.
Black and red. Ooh, yeah.
I love it. George coming in at Paisley. Not a color, George, but that's okay.
For George it is. For George it is a color.
George it is. For George it is. Yeah, absolutely. Black or blue. I do like stripes, so I'm kind of with you there, George. I do love a stripe. Oh, this is
Black or
awesome.
blue. Okay. Yeah.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you
and that-
all so very much, and definitely keep those colors coming in the community, and keep your videos and headshots coming. And remember to just have fun with it. Like, there's just so much cool opportunity to really make this like a fun part of your day. When, as Anna said, when you are like looking good and feeling good, that's the moment. Capture that moment.
Yeah.
Save it. Be able to use those in all kinds of ways. But thank you for hanging out with us. Again, we hope you join us tomorrow, same time. So it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern. And make sure that you're registered for this workshop just so we can send you some free resources to help you out. And we will see you tomorrow for day 2, and then hopefully for day 3 as well. Thanks so much, Anna.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right. You're
fam.
so welcome. Bye, fam. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.